I'm going to walk you through how to scale your offer to $30,000 per month or more using Facebook or Instagram. And I'm going to show you how I've been able to do this and helped a lot of other people so far do this in the simplest way possible, meaning without all of these frankenfunnels and complicated methods that some of the gurus and people are teaching out there on the internet right now. So before we dive in, I just came off of a speaking event that was at this mega mansion, a 15,000 square foot mega mansion right outside of Orlando. And it was incredible. I mean, like the house alone was freaking insane. There's 25 rooms. I mean, it was like one of these houses that you see that just freaking blows your mind and really shows you what's possible. I mean, there was a bowling alley in there, a movie theater, an arcade, there was a laser tag in the house. It was freaking insane. The backyard had this like lagoon, or it was a lazy river, right, with a waterfall, and there was a massive massive big screen, like movie theater size screen out there in the pool for people to view, a waterfall with slides. It was crazy. And one of the people that I had the pleasure of speaking alongside with, she was mentioning in her presentation that there is a statistic, and I can't remember where the source is from. I'll try to find it and I'll link it up below. But around 92 to 93% of all online business owners don't make it past $50,000 per. Actually, I don't even think it was per month. It was $50,000 in general. And I thought that was crazy, like crazy, staggering statistic to me. I mean, it's insane because it's not too complicated. It's relatively straightforward and simple to be able to make $30,000 to $50,000 in a month, let alone like period, you know? And I think what happens is, at least from my perspective, is that most coaches and entrepreneurs are stuck in what I call the content commodity trap, where they're posting content, they're putting stuff out there, but they are like falling into all of the noise, you know? And if you think about going to your local grocery store and maybe walking down the cereal aisle and you see all of these different boxes of cereal, there's typically going to be one or two cereals that either you're loyal to if you're a cereal eater, or that to kind of stick out to you. And there's a reason. There's a reason why that these cereal brands are able to stick out. And I'm just using cereal. You can look at this in any other kind of space where things are commoditized. And the same thing is happening with coaching and different products and things that entrepreneurs are trying to sell online right now. And the other part is, a lot of times people fall into these old, outdated marketing methods and sales methods that, you know, with the internet and with AI and how fast things are moving, tactical things change relatively quickly. And if you're not staying on top of things and you're following a strategy that was used a couple years ago, and I'll walk through a couple of these outdated strategies in just a moment, you're going to end up not getting the results you want, meaning like the leads, the sales, the clients, whatever it is for you. And so some of these things I'm about to drop in for you, like one of my clients recently, his name is Kurt. And I actually shared Kurt. We did an interview and he's on this YouTube channel, so you could, you know, scroll below and be able to see. He was stuck below the $20,000 per month mark. And implementing some of the things I'm about to share with you right now, he was able to get to $35K per month while moving. This dude was freaking moving his family into a brand new house, which we all know how stressful that is. Because he implemented these simple systems, he was able to do that and do it in a way to where now he's not just moved into a nice new house, but he was actually able to spend way more time with his family. He was able to temporarily, he could permanently retire his wife, but his wife wants to go back to work because she loves what she does. He's able to retire his wife right now. And it's all because of these systems and these methods that we're going to walk through that he had in place. So let's go ahead and walk through these right now. And so here are some of the things that you have to have if you want to be able to get to 20, 30, 40, 50K per month using Facebook or Instagram. Number one, we need to optimize our profile. This is really simple. This is actually not part of it. This is a little bonus. But if I want to go into like how to get people onto your page and the content systems and the conversion systems, it's not going to really matter if your like profile is not optimized. And so let's go ahead and do a quick field trip, and I'm going to show you my Facebook page. So my Facebook page, if you are a Facebook user, your Facebook page should look similar to this, okay? There's going to be different depending on your niche and your brand and stuff. There's going to be obviously differentiators. But for me, I like to start off with a nice photo. See, so many people right now, an old outdated method is they have like their brand and their product and all that stuff up there. But whenever you're trying to get new friends onto your page and you're trying to expand your network, what happens a lot of times is people just assume you're going to try to sell them something right out of the gates, which you should never do, because what kind of relationship is that when right when you meet somebody, you try to sell them something? That's like you're trying to get versus you trying to give. And so it starts with the photo. I like having one of my family. This is a little bit outdated. I need to update this. My kids are a little bit older now. This is a couple years old. And a nice motivational quote that means a lot to my brand and to me. I have a nice intro with a link to a ebook, right? So this gets people right into my world if they want to, when they get to see. And then I have a pinned image, a pinned post. I think these work great. It could be a color background post, or it could be a story post of you. But pretty much as soon as somebody comes, they know that I have authority. The perception of my brand is very strong because there's a lot of engagement on this post, and we typically can get new leads every single week. As you can see, 1 week ago, and this was posted, back in July, right? So this is important to have on a Facebook profile. These are some of the keys. On an Instagram, you want to make sure that you have like a good, and I didn't mention this on here, right? But it's going to be this same as true on Facebook or Instagram. You want to have a great profile image that demonstrates a bit about you and your brand, right? You want it to match your brand, and you want it to be able to, you need to look like, in essence, how your ideal clients want to look, if that makes sense, especially if you're in health and fitness, right? And then the same thing here, I have a link directly to my ebook, right? So this gets people bought into our world right away. And then your first 9 images are always going to be important on Instagram. However, and of course, like your highlights, but we're not going to get into the tactics. I just want to kind of show you a little highlight of these, because it's very important that you optimize your profile before we go into like some of these systems, right? So that's number 1, optimize your profile. Number 2 is we want to have a traffic source, aka I call it a growth engine, so that you can consistently have new people coming into your world all of the time. This is important while you're growing a brand. Now, you don't need to have, millions and millions of followers, to have a successful business and to hit 30K, but you do want to make sure that you're consistently bringing in new traffic to your page, because that's just the way the world works, right? I've been able to generate $1 million in sales off of an audience of less than 5,000. So you don't need a lot, but you got to make sure that, you're bringing new people into your world. So for Facebook, the easiest way to do this is to network and friend request and connect with people who are in groups where your prospects hang out, that are following other influencers. What influencers are your ideal clients following? What brands do they follow? You see what I'm saying? And connect in there. See, so many times people go to these groups that are like, say you're in weight loss and you're trying to help people lose weight. You go to these weight loss groups. They're going to be very saturated, and you're not going to find a lot of good leads there. Versus if you go to a group, say you're in near Tampa like me, and you go to like Tampa Orange Theory, or Tampa Peloton group, right? And you're getting very niche and specific. You're going to find people that are going to fit the mold to what you're trying to do, right? And when you see the influencers that your ideal clients are following, follow those people and engage on those posts. And connect with those people who are engaging on those posts. You're going to find that you get highly targeted traffic when you can do that. And the same thing is true with the brands. I mentioned Peloton. I had a client that she was able to go into a Peloton group, and she was on the Peloton page. She was able to get a lot of ideal clients straight from there because she knew the brands that her ideal clients followed, right? So that's what I do on Facebook. It can also work on Instagram. But on Instagram, what works really well for driving traffic right now is a follow me ad. But not just any follow me ad. You got to make sure that you do it right. And so and I'm actually in the process of coming up with a brand new Instagram funnel cheat sheet on what's working really well for us and our clients. So just stay tuned if you want that. I'll do a little training on that as well. But your follow me ad needs to have a really good hook. So say you're in weight loss, it would be like, here's how you can lose 30 pounds in the next 90 days. You need to have a really good hook that's going to grab people's attention, right? And then you give value. So it's hook and then value. Give them a couple of tips. What's something that might shift their perspective, or what's a good insight that you can give them in that video. And these can be anywhere from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. It doesn't really matter. And then you want to have a call to action. And the call to action here would be, hey, and if this was helpful for you, follow my page and scroll through for more. All right. And if you do these effectively, you're going to get tons of followers. Now, you obviously have to spend a little bit of money behind those, but that's just how Instagram is in my experience. It's very much a pay to play model. So that's traffic. You got to always have traffic coming in. Number 2 here is we need to have an inbound content system. An inbound content system. Now, I've done videos on these before. I call these conversion content campaigns. But if you're just out there posting and praying and like hoping that every post you make is going to bring you some ideal clients, you're going to find that that's a very bad way to try to grow a business and get new sales and clients and income. You want to actually have a system in place. And so here's exactly how we do this. So number 1 is you want to be able to choose a hook, right? So before you go and just make content, you want to look at your content calendar for, say, a minimum of 2 weeks. Once you get some experience, you could do this for a month, but you look at it a month out. And actually, I will share my content calendar with you right now, so you can kind of get a personal look into my my actual content calendar and how I do this. Okay, so this is my exact content calendar, right? I have a theme, so I'm going to be talking about holiday cash campaigns to get new clients. So this is my theme. This is my hook for the entire month since we're here in November. And then what you want to do is you want to start with the end in mind, right? So I start back here where I am going to do a strategic live. Now, what I mean by this is, like, no matter what, you need to have a conversion event. Every single month, at least one conversion event. And a conversion event could be like that, a strategic live video that you're putting out, or it could be a workshop that you're going to host, or a challenge that you're going to do, or maybe a new lead magnet or a crash course you're going to release. You need to have something, right, that you're putting a little bit of effort into and that you're driving your audience to consume. And so in my case, I'm going to be doing a strategic live. And so throughout the month, I'm going to have different posts that are promoting that, you know? So all of my hooks, all of my themes are going to be around that, right? So you're going to see, like this, I call it a raise hands post. I'm going to be doing a post asking my audience if they want to be able to get a copy of a cash campaign or promotional cycle to help them around the holidays with getting new clients, okay? And then I'm going to have a reel. That reel is going to have a good hook around holiday promotions with a call to action to get people to want to get my cash campaign. I'm going to show social proof of one of my clients that have used one of my promotional cycles and gotten amazing results. And then I'm going to actually do the thing, right? And so this is, in essence, what a conversion content campaign is. It's you creating content very specifically where you're leading your audience to some kind of conversion event. Does this make sense? And so there's many ways to do it. In fact, we have over 22 ways now of doing it. And so there's multiple ways to do it, but you got to have something where you're creating a sequence of posts, which you're essentially changing up your hooks and your call to actions and the stories and insights that you're sharing within the content, but you're always leading somebody somewhere. And when you could do this, you're able to create a system. And when you have a system, you're able to predictably get up to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K per month. And again, this can scale as high as you want it to go. It all depends on the amount of traffic that you have on your page. Does this make sense? Hope so. All right. And then the number 3 here. So we talked about optimizing your bio, getting traffic, aka a growth engine, into your Facebook or Instagram, having an inbound content system so you can consistently and predictably convert new clients. And then number 3, or I should say get engaged leads. And then the last one here, okay, is going to be a conversion system. You can have the best strategic content driving traffic, but if you don't have a solid conversion system in place, it's going to be really, really hard to predictably get clients. And so depending on your brand and your model, it's going to change. For us and for a lot of people in the coaching space, you're going to want to be building a nurture list. You don't want to just like leave people in your Instagram DMs or your Facebook Messenger. You want to actually have like an Excel spreadsheet or a software where you're actually, collecting leads, for lack of better words. You have a nurture list, so you're able to DM those leads and move them through a pipeline from, starting a conversation with them to having a meaningful conversation to offering them a call to booking them on a call. And in fact, I recently did an entire video called How We've Generated Over $1 million in Sales from an Audience of Less than 5,000, where I walk a little bit more in depth with our lead nurture system. Okay, but you want to be able to DM those leads and then from there book them onto sales calls. So that's how we do it. Depending on your niche in your model, you might send somebody to a sales page, but if you're in the coaching space, the way I just described is the best way and the most effective way that we've ever found. So that's exactly it. So number one, if you want to be able to scale your offer to $30,000 per month or more using Facebook or Instagram, understand this. It's all about the system. It's all about your mindset going into this. So you've got to optimize your bio so you actually are being efficient and you're not just adding people to your page. You need to have a great bio that's going to keep people on your page and even get them into your nurture process, your nurture systems. Number two is you got to have a great traffic source, right? Whether you're finding the good quality sources on Facebook or you're using follow me type ads on Instagram, those are the best ways to do it. One way we didn't talk about, what we use is a little bit more advanced, is OPA, using other people's audiences where you're speaking or sharing content to other people's platforms with permission, of course. It's more of a collaboration, right? So traffic source. Number two is your conversion content campaigns. If you don't have this, then you do not have an inbound content system and it's really hard to get consistency. But when you can do this and you choose a hook, again, you could do this per week, bi-weekly, or per month, whatever you choose. Then choose a conversion event, either a live training or a workshop or a challenge or masterclass or some kind of crash course, somewhere where you're leading your audience. And then you're going to create sequences of content throughout that week or throughout that month where you're leading people to your conversion event. Does that make sense? And the last was the conversion process where you build your nurture list, DM the leads on your nurture list, and book them onto sales calls, right? So hopefully you found this mega helpful. I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was. Drop it in the comments below. And if you did find this video helpful, I would love for you to like it and to subscribe for more. All right. As always, remember your message matters now more than it ever has before. Never be afraid to speak it. Be seen, be heard, and be impactful.